Hey, good afternoon. So under the camera, you see a completed final for Tokyo Monster. The monster in this case is a very big mouse. How do I know that it's big? Well, number one, it's forced back behind the buildings. In fact, it's in contact with this green building over here and the red one. And I get a sense of size or scale based upon the comparison I make between the mouse and the buildings. Here I am in the foreground, or maybe this is me right here. Of course, I'm large in the picture because I'm very close to the viewer. I might be the viewer myself, looking over my shoulder and seeing my friends running on either side of me, trying to get past me. And then beyond them loom large the buildings and the giant mouse. So play with size or scale to make an impact, okay? Remembering lower on the page means closer to the viewer. Here in the middle of the page means not so distant, not so close. And then, of course, the more distant things higher on the page and forced to the background, okay? So we're dealing with low to high, front to back, near to far, okay? So just keep that in mind. Remember that individual items like the buildings, like the mouse, like the nose on the mouse, like the fingers on the mouse, like the fingers on the hands of this victim, everything benefits from shading, okay? Shading does not mean that everything has to be dark. As a matter of fact, when you shade, you have to leave large areas white or very, very light. So don't think that it's hard, it's not. Here I have a start on a final, but it's not yet done. I like to point out that I use pencil marks first to lay down ideas, and then of course I'm always adjusting those pencil marks, making them better, and eventually reinforcing them with a permanent marker. I like using permanent marker for my final lines. It doesn't mean that you have to use permanent marker. Of course, it's a good idea to get rid of any stray marks, pencil marks that you don't like. You can do that with either a vinyl or a kneaded eraser. I prefer a kneaded eraser like the one I'm using here because I stretch it, it warms up, it becomes softer, less likely to damage the paper. Okay, that's why artists like using kneaded erasers. Do I have to get every pencil mark off of here? No, I do not. But it's a better idea to get the pencil marks off before you add color. Now over here to the side, I have a lot of colors prepared. You see I've sharpened everything. I even have a number 2 pencil already prepared and sharpened and an eraser in case I need to go back and make some additional adjustments to this, okay? As a matter of fact, looking here, I see around the face and around this hairdo right here that I neglected to get rid of my pencil marks. So again, going back, noticing a mistake, make those corrections as quickly as possible. Now you see the face of this victim looking up, catching some light from the sky. Leaving it white is not a bad idea. You can see I've used blue and orange. Blue and orange neutralize to give you a wonderful gray. I can continue to use those colors if I want. Maybe just a little more shading along this outer edge right here, darkening that around the hairline, maybe a little bit more here, up along that edge, fading lightly. Here comes my orange. Why do I use those two together? Because they neutralize to give me a nice shadowy gray. And you're getting a sense of that neutralized color right now under the camera as I work. Do I do things quickly? Sometimes, but actually, even though I'm moving my pencil fast, I tend to do things, I tend to build the surface little bit by little bit. I only press hard if I think I can do so and get away with it. Otherwise, I build my surface little bit by little bit. I think this green shirt here would benefit with a little bit of yellow to warm it up. I think I might even add a little bit of yellow to his forehead as if the sun is shining there. Maybe catch his ear a little bit like that. I think maybe this sleeve over here would benefit. And you see how I jump around and kind of adjust things as I like to see them and then move on to a different area. You can jump around as much as you want. Is there a rule for the colors you should use? No, there is no rule for the colors you should use. I have this orange again. I've used it a little bit on this face. I might go back and put it in his hair right here. It doesn't mean his hair is going to be orange. It just means that's the first color I start with. Okay? Now I might go back and add a little bit of red to that hair. This is a red. Is it going to stay red and orange? I don't know. But I'm going darker and darker with this. And that's a good thing because the darker I go, the more deeper values I have, allows me to do more. Guess what? Shading. And I like to do shading. So going from a dark to a light is never a bad idea. Okay? So I'm going to go ahead and finish up with that kind of reddish hair there. It might be that I have a pink in my hand. Let's go ahead and give this guy a light layer of pink. Am I going to come back and blend over that pink? You betcha. Am I going to leave it pink? Probably not. Am I to mix something with it? You are probably right. So that's a pink. I'm going to come back in. Now pink, maybe. Now pink is really red with white added to it. If I add a green to that, I'm going to get, once again, kind of a neutralized color. Here it's a very warm color. Do you have to blend? No, you do not. Do I like blending? Yes, I do. Why? Because it's challenging to me. It makes the job a little more fun because I have to predict, and my predictions don't always come true. And so I jump around, developing this, maybe some green here in the shadow, green here along this outer edge, green under the ear, green under his bangs right here. And I'm going to go back again with my pink and see what happens. Not bad. You see how I'm pushing the shadows deeper on the sides here? The pink mixes with the green to give you kind of a brownish, grayish color. Good for shadows. I think I'm going to go ahead and switch for the shirt and do a yellow. You know, that yellow by itself is probably not going to do the trick, so I may have to come in here later on with another color and blend it with that yellow. If I come in with this blue, I'll make a green. Now, I did make a green over here. I did use a green over here. I'm not sure that was the best choice for variety. Let's get a little bit more red involved here. Red on the neck to deepen that. Red on the cheek to deepen that. Red under the ear to deepen that. Red along this outer cheek to deepen that. You see how I'm pushing things darker and darker? Why I'm leaving some portions quite light. Maybe a little red down here. Maybe a little red over here. Okay, so I've got the two figures done down here. I'm ready to go with the monster and the buildings. You can see in this earlier sample that the buildings have to have a dark side and a light side, a dark side and a light side, a dark side and a light side, because the monster oftentimes is round, 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 round. You will have to do some shading, dark to light, across the surface. I'm going to take this gray and lay it down lightly. When you travel lightly and push your pencil, you can go pretty quickly. If you were to make a mistake, and I will make some mistakes, I can easily erase them. For example, if I wanted to, right along there where I made a mistake, there, just erase that. As long as you're pressing lightly, there's very little a chance that you'll make a big mistake. Now I'm going to go more slowly, same color gray, dark to light, dark to light. Each of the fingers gets a dark to light treatment. This part of the hand may go a little dark to light. This part of the wrist may go a little dark to light right here. The wrist on into the arm, dark to light, dark to light, dark to light. I may go over this surface very, very lightly to smooth it out. You can see how it's taking shape. I could probably even take my eraser if I wanted to and lighten up on some of those lighter areas if I felt like that was necessary. So just remember, you have a lot of tools at your disposal. You have erasers, you have colored pencils. For planning purposes, you have number 2 pencil and, of course, marker. Enjoy the process, be logical. Remember, you must have 2 victims, 3 buildings, and 1 monster or a threat to the city. What's a threat to the city? Well, in this case, it would just be flaming marshmallows. Now, for your final, you try.